Hi everyone, welcome to today's maths lesson. Unfortunately, I've had a few technical issues with getting it to project to the TV behind me, so I'm going to have to do it on here today while I get that fixed. Hopefully tomorrow I'll do it from inside the classroom like I did yesterday. Okay, so we're going to be carrying on today looking at percentages of amounts, but today we're going to be doing something slightly different, so you're going to need to really pay attention to this. Up until now, I've given you the whole number and asked you to find a percentage of it. So for example, I've said find 10% of 30. Today, I'm going to say 10% is 3. Find me the original number. So we're doing the reverse today. All right, so you're going to need to pay attention to this. We're going to start, as we always do, with some Among Us, and for you to find out who the imposters are, please. So pause the video now and have a go at it, and then I will have a go at explaining it to you without the use of my normal whiteboard. Off you go. Okay, so let's get started together. Now, the first one I'm going to look at is 70 times 7, which it says is 290. Well, my known fact for that is 7 times 7. Now, 7 times 7 is not 29. 7 times 7 is 49. So 70 times 7 would be 490. So, based on that, I can say that this is wrong. So our first imposter straight away is this one here. The next one, 140, take away 68.2. Okay, so if I very quickly attempt to draw that. Now, the important thing here is we need to invent a placeholder. And now we're going to do 0 take away 2. Well, we can't do that. So we're going to borrow all the way over from the 4. That would become 3, which would then make that 10. We borrow from there, which makes that 9, which makes that 10. So 10 take away 2 is 8. 9 take away 8 is 1. 3 take away 6 we can't do, so we're going to borrow from here. So 13 take away 6 is 7. Put the decimal point in, 71.8. So this one here is correct. Next one, 2.6 add 0.5. Well, if I did 26 add 5, it would be 31. So 3.1 is the correct answer. 7.56 times 100 is 7,506. Okay. If we times it by 10, it would become 75.6. Because the decimal, well, the numbers all move to the left once. If we're timesing it by 100, they'd move again, which would make it 756. So this is wrong. We've got 2 imposters so far. We have purple and white at the top. Next one, I can't talk. 1,210 divided by 11 equals 110. I mean, I don't know that off the top of my head, but I do know that 121 is in the 11 times tables, because I know that 11 times 11 is 121. So let's just remove these zeros. If I can remove 1 from each side, and that's fine. I've now got 121 divided by 11 is 11. Well, that's correct. So if I put zeros on each side, it's still correct. Tick. Okay, this one here we should be able to do. 25% of 1,400 equals 350. Well, we know 25% is the same as a quarter. We therefore know we need to divide by 4. So we're going to do 1,400 divided by 4. If we do that, bus stop. I'm trying to draw this with my mouse. It takes a while, apologies. Like so. 4 doesn't go into 1, so we carry it. 4 goes into 14. Well, I can go 4, 8, 12, 3 times. Carry the 2. 4 goes into 25 times, with nothing left over, and then I just put the 0 on the top. So the answer is 350, so that is correct. 15 times 5 is 75. Well, 10 times 5 is 50. 5 times 5 is 25. Add them together. Okay, 3/8 divided by 3 is 3 over 24. Well, I know that that is the same as 3/8 divided by 3 over 1, because any number as a fraction is itself over 1. I then need to keep, flip, change, because we are dividing. So it's going to be 3/8 still, because we've kept that one. I'm going to flip the symbol and change the fraction by swapping it over. 3 times 1, we do the same, so we're going to do 3 times 1 is 3. 8 times 3 is 24. 3 over 24, that's correct, and it cancels down to 1 over 8. So that's absolutely fine. 5,628 equals 4,792, add 836. All they've done here is they've swapped it round to try and confuse you. All you need to do is do this and see if you get that. So 4, 7, 9, 2, add 836. Okay, so 6 add 2 is 8. 9 add 3 is 12, so 2 carry the 1. 1 add 7 is 8, add 8 is 16, carry the 1. 1 add 4 is 5, so 5, 6, 2, 8, so that is correct. Next one, 6.021, add 0.7. Okay, so I'm going to do 6.021. Now, we need to make sure we line this up correctly. The easiest one to line up is the decimal point. So we put the point there, the 7 must go there, the 0 goes there, and now we're going to create 2 decimal places there for you. 1 add 0 is 1, 2 add 0 is 2, 7 add 0 is 7, and 6 add 0 is 6. So it's 6.721, which means this one is incorrect. So we have 3 imposters. We have white, purple, and red. Okay. Turn this back onto a pointer. Okay, so starting off then with today's actual lesson. What's the same and what's different this time? Explain your answer. So the first one here says 50% of 540. The next one says 90% of 300 kilograms. Okay, so the only way we're going to know what's the same and what's different is if we actually work it out. So I'm going to get my pen again. Okay, 50% of 540. Well, I know 50% is the same as a half. So I'm going to do half of 540. Well, half of 500 is 250. Oh dear, that's a horrendous 5. Anyway, 250, half of 40 is 20. So I'm going to add them together, which makes 270. If you notice there, to make it easier for myself, I split the number up. I did half of 500 and then half of 40. So the answer to this is 270 kilograms. Like so. Now this one here is 90% of 300 kilograms. So I don't know 90% as a fraction, but we're going to start, like I said yesterday, with finding 10%. That's the golden rule. So to find 10%, we know 10% is equal to a tenth. And to do that, we divide by 10. So 10% is equal to 30, like so. Now, to find 90%, well, there's two ways we could do this. Now, the way I showed you yesterday was you would times this by 9. So you do the same to the 30. Now, 30 times by 9 would be 270. There is another way. You don't have to use it, but there is another way that's a bit quicker. If you know that 10% is 30, if I'm after 90%, well, 100% is 300. So if I took 10% away, I would be left with 90%. 100% is 300. Take away the 10%, I get 90%, which is 270. So that is an option. But if you're not sure on that, find 10% and then times it by whatever you need to times it by to get your answer. Okay. Moving on. All right, so as I said, today we're going to give you the part of the answer and you need to give me the original number. So the question here is, it says 10% of an amount is 5. So if I multiply 5 by 10, then I know 100%. So if this part here is 5, then all of these parts must also be 5. I'm not going to write it all the way out, you get the point. So if I take one of these and I times it by 10, because there are 10 parts, then I know the answer is this times 10. So the answer, therefore, must be 50. Let's see how we got on with that. Oh, no, wrong one. Okay. So the answer is 50. Bear with me on this. So the next one is 10% of an amount is 9. So what's 100%? Well, one of these 10 parts is 9. So all of these are going to be worth 9. So if we do this times by 10, it will give us the original amount, which is 90. Now the reason for that is this. If I said to you, what is 10% of 90? You would do 90 divided by 10. To find 10%, you would do 90 divided by 10, which is 9, which is 10%. I'm asking you to do the reverse. So you're going to do 9 times 10, which gives you that original number. So you do the opposite of what you would do to find the percentage. Okay. So if we're finding 10%, you'd normally divide by 10. So if I give you 10%, you times by 10 to find the original. If we had 25%, normally you would divide by 4. So if I give you the 25%, you would times by 4. But you'll see that example in a second. Okay, 14, again we would times it by 10, which would be 140. So that's 10%. So make a note of this, please. If you're given 10%, to find 100%, you times by 10. If you're given 10%, to find 100%, or the original number, you would times by 10. Write that down, make a note of it. Now 5%. Well, we're not quite on 5% yet, we're on 1%. Okay, so To find 1%, I would normally divide by 100. So what do you think I'm going to do? I've got the 1%, but I want the original. To find the 1%, I'd normally divide by 100. Therefore, I'm going to do the opposite. I've been given 1%. If I times that 1% by 100, it will give me my original number. So 2 times 100 is 200. So do the same with 9, please. So remember, we've got 1%. We're going to take that 1% and times it by 100. 900. Same with 12, 1200, 23, 2300 or 2300. Okay. So far you should have written down, if I'm given 10%, I times it by 10 to find 100%, or the original number. If I'm given 1%, I times it by 100 to find the original number. Those are the 2 bits of information you need to know. The next one then is 50%. Now hopefully you can see this here, that it's saying 50% is 20. Well, if that's 20, this one must also be 20. So the original would be both of these together. Remember, to find 50%, if I asked you to find 50%, you would divide by 2. Therefore, if you've been given 50% and you need to find the original, you would times by 2. You do the opposite. 20 times by 2 is 40. Same for this one. You've got 50%, so 100% is going to be double, which is 84. 123, again, you double it, which is 246. So, if I've got 50%, I times it by 2 to get the original number. That's the third key piece of information you need. I'm giving you lots of information here, but you're going to need it all for activity 1. So make sure you've got it written down. 25%. Well, you can see here there are 4 parts, and each of these are also going to be worth 10. To find 25%, hopefully you're saying, because you remember from yesterday, to find 25% we would divide by 4. Therefore, if I've got 25%, I'm going to do the opposite and I'm going to times by 4 to get the original number. Like so. The next one, 12 becomes 48. So you're going to take the 21. You've got 25%. To find the 100%, you need to times it by 4. Like so. So, that was the 4th one. There's one more to go. I promise you, there's only one more. The 4th one then, if I've got 25%, I times it by 4 to get the original number. Final one is 12.5%. Now, we haven't looked at 12.5%, but basically, 12.5% is half of 25%. It's the same as an eighth, if you remember. We did look at an eighth when I made my Henry VIII joke, which I still find hilarious and no one else does. Anyway, it's split into 8 parts. 12.5% is the same as an eighth. So therefore, to find it, you would normally divide by 8. By now, hopefully you've realised the pattern that if I've been given 12.5%, then to find 100%, I do the opposite. So I would do 5 times 8 which would give me my original number. Same with this one. I know it's an eighth, which I normally divide by 8, so I'm going to times by 8. And this one, again, times by 8, and so on. Okay. Thank you so much for listening through that. We're on to activity 1. Woo! So, you've got here the questions. It says if 10% is 17, then 100% is so on. You need to work that out and then make your way down the list. You should have notes that will help you with this. If not, rewind the video because it's all there for you. Pause the video now. Okay, and here are your answers. Okay, straight into activity 2. Now, there's not really a question to answer here. Using this, we're not going to worry about the bottom one. Using this bar model here, I'd like you to write out your own question. And I would like you, if you can, to write a word problem about it. So you can see here, it's split into 5. Okay, so each of these is worth 20%. So I know that 20% of a number is 4.5. Based on the questions we've just had, can you write me a question to have a go at that uses this bar model? Off you go. I can't really mark it because you're all going to do something different, but I'm assuming you're going to go and do that and then come back to me. So off you go, and you're back. Okay. So, for the final part of today, we're just looking at the slightly more complex ones. So we're starting with 33.33%, or 33.3%. Well, you can see here it's split into 3 parts. So therefore, to find the original, you're going to times by the 3 parts. Normally, to find 33%, you would divide by 3. And you know by now, because I've said it enough times, you're going to do the opposite. So you times by 3, because you've got one of the parts, but you want all of them. Normally, you've got this, and it asks you for one of these, but we're doing the opposite today. So we times it by 3, which gives us 60. Same for 12. We would times it by 3, which would give us 36. Same for this one. Okay. Now this is where it gets slightly trickier, because this time it's told us that 42 is 66%. But it wants us to find the 100%. So, to be able to do that, we need to go back a step. At the moment, both of these are worth 42. The problem is I can't times that by anything to get 100%. So I need to take this 42 and turn it back into 2 lots here. How am I going to do that? Well, I'm going to divide it by 2. If both of these are worth 42, then each of these must be worth 21, which must mean this is worth 21. To find the original here, I hope you enjoyed that squiggle that I drew for no reason, I would take this, and I know there are 3 of them, so I could add them together, which would be 63. Horrendous 3. Like so. So again, with this one, I've got 66%, but I can't really use that. So I need to halve it, so I get 33%. So I'm going to halve the 64, and then I'm going to use that. I can take one of these, times it by 3, 1, 2, 3, to get the original, 96. Okay. We're going to carry on with that tomorrow because I realise I've bombarded you with a lot of information here. Okay, so I'm going to end the video here and we're going to carry on with this bit tomorrow. Okay, For now, you've got activity 1 and 2. I've also uploaded an activity onto the website for you to have a go at. Okay, so you've done activity 1 and 2, plus the Among Us, and I'm going to upload a challenge activity for you to have a go at. I'm not going to do this bit yet because it's a bit of a stretch and I want to do a whole lesson just on this bit. And I can sense, even as I'm teaching it now, that you're going to get quite lost if I carry on. So for today, we were just focusing mainly on doing this and particularly this. So this was the bit you needed to get for today. If you've got this, great. Tomorrow, we're going to look at some more complex ones. Okay, thank you very much for listening. Check out the work on Seesaw for the challenge activity. See you soon. Bye.